What's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to be going over how you should actually be trading prop firms. There's a lot of different opinions on the subject. It is somewhat of a soft subject, and a lot of people have strict opinions on their end. Me personally, I think an evaluation is exactly what you make it to be. So you're paying, $100 to $150, whatever it is, for an account, right? In order to have around a 20x return at minimum on average. I think the smallest return is 17x or 18x on Lucid. Regardless, I'm going to be going into my plans and my strategies with these accounts because remember, these aren't live accounts. These are accounts with a smaller buy-in with these bigger potential returns. So I'm not going to treat, my evaluations all the time like a live account, but there are certain situations in which you should. And what do I mean by treating your evaluation and your funded accounts like a live account? Well, I think if you are a complete beginner and you don't have too much skin in the game, this is when you should be quote unquote trading your evals and prop firms like they are live accounts, because you need to be focused on building a system. When you're a new trader and you get thrown into the game of trading, you're getting put into a very toxic, manipulative community, right? These prop firms, all they want you to do is lose. We can look all around at a prop firm and we can dissect it, and each piece is made to get you in some way. It's as simple as the colors on your screen. The hues are not just normal red and green. They are max brightness red and green flashing in your face because they know that this is going to trigger emotions. At the end of the month, you have a rebuild period. You are going to rebuild your original buy-in for the account because they want you to force quantity over quality. They want you to get as many trades as you can in, so you're rushed in the process. And if you don't, you're going to face a rebuild. And when they rush you, they know you're not going to win because there's no probability in having more trades on an account. They throw consistency rules in your face, so you are then forced to trade in an unnatural manner. So you're, okay, I made X amount this day, so now I have to shorten my stop, or I have to size down, or I have to size up, right, for this next trade for the next couple days, right? So everything in this game, everything in the prop firm, they're just trying to get you. You guys have to understand that they profit when you lose. So you need to manipulate and beat the people who are attempting to beat you. So like I was saying, if you are a beginner, you need to make sure you are focused on building a system. It's very easy, like I said, to get into trading and build the wrong foundation around the manipulative prop firms who are trying to trick you and beat you. And when you come in and you're trading these prop firms, right, that are manipulating you and, kind of changing the way that your brain thinks about trading, it's very easy to get misled. It's very easy to build foundation that will not last on a live account. If we think of the example of, let's just say, a kid who grows up in a household where his parents make him take his shoes off at the door, odds are he's going to want to take his shoes off at the door when he buys his own house because that's his foundation. That was just molded into his brain. Same thing as trading. When you're a young trader, the stuff you do in the beginning is the stuff that you are going to carry on throughout your trading career. So if you were over trading from the jump, you have more repetition in over trading. You have a long pass in over trading. So your brain is just automatically going to feel more comfortable with falling back in what it has repetition in. So it's very important that you are going about trading these prop firms the right way so you are not building the wrong foundation. Yes, we don't want to trade evals like a live account. We don't want to do anything like that, but we also need to make sure we are keeping good psychology. One of the strategies that I was using back in the day was with the consistency accounts where, they wanted 40% maybe consistency out of you. What I would do and what my main strategy would be was to trade the first day normal. I would trade the first day. I'm not going to go into sizing on this example because it's a consistency account. I'll do sizing stuff later, but I'll go into the account, whatever sizing it was. Let's just say I made $1,000 the first day with a legitimate setup. Remember, make sure all your setups are still legitimate and you're not just trading absolute nonsense. But again, really good setup the first day, right? I would win. So let's just say put me up $1,000. On day two, and also keep in mind these consistency accounts are probably 3 days, then payout, forgot to mention. But on the second day, what I would do is bigger sizing, another good setup, and I would just cut my TP short so my RR had a better chance of winning, and then I would do the same thing on the third day. This allows me to catch good setups, and I don't have to face the risk of getting broke even. I don't have to sit and wait and make sure for 3 perfect setups to hit. This way, I'm catching one really good setup, and then I have these 2 other good setups on the 2 other days, but I'm cutting them short, so I am then building my chance to the payout. I'm going to have a way better percent chance. I do not recommend this strategy. This is definitely the worst strategy that I'm going to mention. But if it's a position or something that might help you if you trade the consistency accounts or prefer those, that is personally how I would go about it. Now, the way that I actually go about trading evaluation accounts. So, I'm profitable. I'm not going to sit and I'm not going to waste time trading on an account and trying to, pass an eval for a month long. No, I have other accounts that need to be traded. I have other accounts with priority over evaluation accounts, so I'm not going to sit and waste my time on an evaluation account. So I am not necessarily going to full port, but I'm going to pass these accounts in 2 days. Again, I am playing the account worth the value of money that I put into it. I put $100 into this account. Again, I'm not going to sit around and waste months or days or weeks at a time trying to pass this account. I'm going to get this account passed right away. Obviously, with 2 valid setups, I'm going to do so, but the evaluation part should be easy. All you need to do is win 2 trades, make $1,500, for example, on a 50K account, and then the account is passed. Now, how do I go about getting a payout on a 5-day to payout account with 0 consistency? These are going to be your best accounts, which is just the standard accounts. No max drawdown, no intraday drawdown limit. It's just a standard account, right? These are probably going to be a bit more expensive, but I like the Lucid Flexes. I don't like the payout caps. That is my biggest issue with those, but it's a normal account that is not forcing as much rules and not throwing as much on your plate more than what you need. So how I play these accounts is once I'm funded, I'm going to be smaller sized. I'm going to just play my winning days in a way so by the time payout day comes on that 5th day, I should have well over a $4,000 balance. Me personally, what I do is I start with 1 mini. Once I'm at 1 mini, I'm trading until I'm past that $2,000 balance mark, because after that $2,000 balance, your drawdown stops following you. And then at that point, after $2,000, I would start to size up. So I should be, if I'm all green on the week, and it's a pat on my back if I am 3 days in, odds are I'm going to be at that $4,000 balance. How do I go about getting winning days? I am not just too many scalping these setups just so I can, make that quick 150 just so I'm eligible. No, I'm dropping down into micros. I'm going to be trading 5 to 8 micros depending on the volatility. I'm just going to try and catch a 1-to-1. This is where we've seen so many people blow accounts. I know so many people, and I've done it so many times myself, is when you're trying to full port and scalp for $150, and then you just top or bottom tick in the opposite direction, and then you run and you blow the account. You start maybe even buying into more positions, trying to average out so your fill is closer, so you're able to, go break even or whatever the case may be. I know that way too well. I've been there. Stop doing that. You are just killing your psyche. Like I was talking about in the beginning, when you're on a live account, there's no scalping for $150 days. That's not something that you do. And when you're building your foundation and you're building repetition in this, you're teaching yourself that it's easy to make money this way, when in reality you're just cheating and you are just giving yourself bad repetition. So again, I'm catching 1-to-1 trades, right, for that $150 day if I need to. I'm not cheating the system. I'm still getting in decent setups. I'm not going to try and wait for an A+ setup when I'm trying to get these winning days. A lot of the times I'm probably just going to trade a trend continuation in strong volatility, strong volume, good conditions. I don't want to be doing too much, and I don't want to put too much into it because $150 really should not be that hard to make. And ever since I switched from doing the full porting, scalping for the 150 to the 1-to-1s just with micros, I have not failed. There's not been one failure. I have a 100% win rate, and I don't see why you guys wouldn't have that either. Another strategy, which is what I named bar jumping, I don't recommend this one, but if you have capital on hand, I don't think that this is awful, and I have done this before and I've made a lot of money doing it. What is bar jumping? Well, bar jumping is when you have a fresh funded account and you are literally full porting it. So let's just say you have a Lucid Flex, right? You have 2 contracts, max drawdown is $2,000, and your max payout is going to be $2,000 with a $4,000 balance because you have to keep 50% inside of it. So what I would do was I would just, get these accounts passed, and then I would full port my first trade. So my win rate wouldn't be reflected on a calendar for the amount of trades, I take. It would be trades on the whole account. So the account would be the win or loss. It wouldn't be individual trades on the account. So if I win, if I hit my 1-to-2 risk reward ratio trade, right, I either blow the account at $2,000 or I either win the account at $4,000, and I'm able to take that max payout 5 days later, again, using that 1-to-2 risk or 1-to-1 risk reward scenario. But another way that you could do this is you could tighten up your take profit a little bit, so you're able to then perfectly match up and make your $150 days, so you are then able to have $4,000 at the end of the week rather than on your first trade. So you're able to save yourself a little bit, because you have to make that $150 4 days, right, no matter what. So I mean, why wouldn't you just shave your TP to around $3,500, to let probability do its thing. So like I was saying in the beginning, your whole win rate is going to be based off of your accounts. So the amount of accounts you lose is going to be a loss. The amount of accounts that you get a payout on is going to be your wins, right? And you combine that, you're going to have your win rate. If you have capital on hand, I would totally do this, but this is a bit more risky because, again, you have evaluations that you have to pass, and this is going to lower your win rate a lot. But as long as you are getting one payout per 18 accounts, you're going to be break even. It's going to be, not gonna lie, it's going to be very hard to mess this one up. This one does promote bad psychology, but if you have the capital on hand, I don't see why this is a problem. I would very much recommend that you have a live account on the side that you are taking trading more seriously on, and I'll treat these more as fun accounts. This is going to be for more experienced, maybe intermediate traders. But again, if you're intermediate, this is going to mess with your psyche a little bit, because you should not be full porting and should just be focusing on the process. But overall, what you guys don't want to hear me say, the best way about going in these accounts and trading these evals and trading these prop firms is going to be doing so with 6 to 8 micros, just building your system and letting your system's probability pay you over time. Take the profits, maybe scale into more accounts, right? Now you have 2 accounts after a payout. Copy trade these accounts, get better with more risk on the table. Still trading 6 to 8 micros, right? Trade more accounts. Maybe you have 4 accounts at this point, right? Keep scaling up, and then keep taking these max payouts on these Lucids, for example, and then take the money, right? Pay yourself out a little bit. I don't know. I don't care, but you need to keep scaling. Every payout, you need to be scaling. Throw it into a live account. Trade the live account. Take home all of it. You're not dealing with a 50% split. You're not dealing with 10% of the money being given back to the prop firm. All this money is yours, all the money in a live account. You need to make the switch to a live account at some point, because if you want to be a trader long term, do you really think that you are going to be trading prop firms your whole entire life? No. Do you want to be a 40-year-old man trading on Top Step and letting Top Step depict whether you are going to feed your family at the end of the day? No, you don't. You need to move to a live account so you can control your capital and you can trade it in a natural way. This is part of the scaling process. You cannot be stuck on evals forever. It's just a way to get off of your feet. So with that being said, that's pretty much all I got for you guys. Feel free to hit me on Instagram. I love getting back to your guys' messages. A lot of you guys are reaching out to me, letting me know what you guys are struggling with psychologically or technically. And yeah, I've been responding, been having some super valuable conversations. So definitely feel free to shoot me a text on Instagram at Nate_trades, and we'll totally cook up a plan or whatever you need help with. Make sure you follow me, make sure you subscribe. I'm going to be dropping a lot of videos. If you made it this far, thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment for me.